Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to set up an AI multi-agent content repurposing team. This agent team can take long-form content like YouTube videos, blog posts and podcasts and automatically repurpose the content across social channels. I'll show you the YouTube repurposing agent I personally use that gets triggered when I upload a new video onto my channel. It will then write, generate and post a blog article about the video onto my website. It will also write and post on my X and LinkedIn. And lastly, it will write me an email promoting the new video to my subscribers. As always, the template will be available for free in the description below, and it will be easy to adjust it to your specific use case. Now, in my opinion, content agents are one of the best use cases for AI agents. Now, you might have seen some of these tutorials where they automate content posting on social media through platforms like make.com. And without hating too much on those automations, in my experience, I have yet to see one company, and me included, that actually want to be posting AI generated content automatically on their social channels without actually reviewing and iterating a bit. And that's where the human in the loop aspect of AI agents come in. So if you want a really good use case for AI agents or just want to create your own social media content, stick with me and I'll show you step by step how to set it up. So first of all, shout out to Samuel Chris, who suggested making an AI content creation agent that could specifically post on LinkedIn. I do really take these comments into account when I plan my next videos. So if you have anything specific in mind, let me know in the comments and I do really consider them for my next videos. Also, I wanted to say a huge thank you for the positive response to my first videos. It does really inspire me to make a lot more of these videos. And there have been quite some people reaching out to me about opening a school community where we could maybe go over more advanced AI agent setups, use cases and how to actually sell them to companies. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know in the comments below too. It would definitely help me take action on it if I see more people being interested in it. Now that out of the way, let me get to the overview. So I've broken this video down into 5 steps. So in the first step, I'm going to go over the system overview. Then I'll go over quickly when to use multi-agent systems. I've seen many people have questions on that too. Then I'll go over a quick live demo of my agent. And then I'll go over the manager sub-agent setup and the social media posting tool setup. So the software I'm using for this system is Relevance AI. If you don't know Relevance AI yet, it's a no-code AI tool and AI agent builder. And you can also build multi-agent systems, which makes it extremely powerful, especially if you're not a coder. If this is the first time you are building on Relevance AI or you hear about Relevance AI, I do have a full tutorial, beginner's tutorial on my YouTube channel about Relevance AI. This video is a little bit more advanced. I'll try to keep it easy, but if it's hard to follow, make sure to check out that video first. So the way this YouTube repurposing system is set up is in the following way. At the center, really, we have our YouTube repurposing manager agent, which is the one that reports to me and that I interact with. This one is also the one that gets triggered, that has access to the tools to actually post on my social media and to my blog. And he also manages 4 sub-agents. And these sub-agents you can see as specialists. So we have our blog writer specialist, we have our email writer specialist, we have our LinkedIn writer and X writer. So these agents also have, these 3 agents have one tool, which is the YouTube transcription tool. So how would this work in practice? Basically, we have 2 triggers here. We can either manually trigger our YouTube repurposing manager by just sending it a YouTube link, or I actually set up an automated trigger where it watches my channel, and as soon as I upload a new video, it will send a new YouTube link to my YouTube repurposing manager. My YouTube repurposing manager will then send these links to the different sub-agents that are specialized in writing different content types. And for example, the blog writer will first use the YouTube transcription tool to get the full transcription, then write the blog post, and then report it back to the YouTube repurposing manager. Now, this YouTube repurposing manager will then report it back to me. And if I give the go ahead, it will actually start posting it to the social channels. So that's a quick explanation of how this system is set up. I'm going to show you in detail later, and I'll also give you a live demo. But I want to go over first why I actually used these sub-agents, because you might be asking, why didn't I just give more tools to my YouTube repurposing agent? For example, a blog writer tool, an email writer tool, etc. And maybe the YouTube transcription tool. Now, there's a few reasons for using multi-agent systems. And in this specific case, the most important reason why I use sub-agents is because sub-agents allow for feedback and iterations. So as I said before, we don't actually want to post this content automatically without actually reviewing and iterating. So that's what these sub-agents allow for. So let's take an example. Our YouTube repurposing manager sends a YouTube link to our blog writer. Our blog writer then transcribes the YouTube video and writes a blog article. He reports it back then to the YouTube repurposing manager, who reports it to me. Now, that's the moment where I can actually start reviewing and iterating. So let's say I don't like the tone of voice. I feel like there's something missing in the text, and it has to change some questions in the FAQ. Right now, if that's the case, I can just tell the YouTube repurposing manager my feedback. I don't like this part, I don't like that part. And he will then report that back to the blog writer agent, who can then make the adjustments and send it back to the YouTube repurposing manager. And then once I approve, actually post it to, in this case, Webflow. Now, if we would have done this in a tool, we can't actually give a tool feedback, right? Because we only have one input or one standardized step-by-step to do. So we can't iterate on content. It's just a one-shot thing. So that's the main reason in this build why I've used sub-agents. Now, there are more reasons to use multi-agent systems. Another one is, which is actually also the case for this specific setup, is you just have higher reliability with more complex workflows. As soon as you start to equip these agents with 7, 8, 9 tools and sort of complex workflows, the reliability will just go down and your agent will get confused with all the information it has gotten. So if you want good reliability, it's better to separate these parts of the process into a responsibility for a sub-agent and then let your manager agent manage these sub-agents. It is also less prone to errors. You can get less token limit errors and agent mistakes. For example, in this one, if we would have given the YouTube transcription tool to the YouTube repurposing manager, he would have to send lots of text to all these different agents, and then we can reach token limits, we can run into a lot of errors, etc. So it's better to equip these agents separately with these tools, because they'll be able to manage those amounts of text a lot easier than this manager, who also already has lots of responsibilities. And then lastly, there are more reasons to use multi-agent systems, but a good one I found too is if you want to have evaluation agents. Basically, those are agents that are specialized in actually checking if what your other agent has done is actually reliable or good. Now, for this specific one, that is not the case, but we can implement that, and I'll probably make a video on evaluation agents and steps in the future. There are more, but these are one of the main ones I've found. If you have any other reasons to use multi-agent systems, let me know. I'm interested in it too. So that's it for the setup. Now I'll show you a quick live demo on Relevance AI. So first I'll show you a live demo of the agent in action. Then I'll show you a detailed breakdown of the agent setups and the sub-agent setups. Then the tools, how I set up the tools to post to social media and to my blog, and the YouTube trigger lastly. So here we have our YouTube repurposing manager. So here I'm in use manager, and I'm just going to use my last YouTube video as I have not posted a blog on it yet. And in this case, I'm just going to trigger it manually by just sending it the YouTube link. So you can see already in the background now it has delegated it to the blog writer agent, and of course the blog writer agent is equipped with a tool too. So he's now using the YouTube transcription tool to transcribe the YouTube video, and then he's of course prompted to write a blog post. Now you can see we got our blog posts back, so it's quite long. Of course, that's what I instructed my blog writer to do. But you can see my repurposing manager shows me the blog first, right? So now I can actually read it, make sure that everything's fine. So let's say, just for example purposes, that there's something I don't like. Let's say step 3, in step 3, change the length, make it shorter, and also maybe, let's say, change the title and make it more compelling. But just for example purposes, even if it's a really easy change, we can even let our YouTube manager change it. But ideally we send it back to the blog writer agent because he's the one that's an expert in writing blog posts. So please send it back to the blog writer agent. So that's all we do. And now our YouTube repurposing manager will send it back. So you can see here, it delegated it again to the blog writer agent. We can actually check if it's going to make the changes we want. So in step 3, change the length. Make it shorter, right? So let's see here, step 3, connect to Google Docs. All right, now we gotten it back again. So let's check if he actually made, you can see step 3 is a lot shorter. And let's see, he also changed the title. So that's how it works, the iteration step. So now we can say, let's say the blog is good and we actually want to start posting it. We just tell our repurposing manager that we want to post it. Perfect. Let's post the blog. Good. Now our agent launched the post to Webflow tool, and actually I have instructed my agent to wait for human approval before actually posting it to Webflow. Now you might ask why, because I already checked in the step before, but it's because we actually need images, and I don't want to have AI generated images. I actually want to have good images, so that's why I have the human approval step, where I can also double check if everything's fine here, right? We have the title, we have the excerpt, we have the summary, we have the date, we have the YouTube link, the blog post, and here we have the images. So I can just upload the images right here. So these are the thumbnails. And lastly, I also have a free resources link, which I have to add in manually. So I'll add in that manually here too. So just paste it in here, and that's it. So now I click approve, and now my agent through the tool will actually post it to my Webflow and publish my website. So as soon as we're done, we can actually check my website and see if it's posted. Alright, so it is used post to Webflow, so let's check it out. So you can see latest post. This was the one he just wrote. So we can check it out. Here we have the free template, right? Link. We have the YouTube video, and here we have the full blog article. And that's it. So that's the first step. Now we can go back, and you can see actually the X post writer agent already wrote the X post, and now the post to X tool is waiting for human approval. So in this case, I've just instructed my repurposing manager to just automatically go to this post to X tool. Why? Because I can still check the actual content here of my X post, and because they're very small, these X posts, I can just adjust whatever I want inside of this box myself instead of sending it back to the agent. So in this case, let's say I want to change something. I break new video, effortlessly connect your AI agents to any software. I break down a step-by-step guide to seamlessly link your AI agents with any software. No coding required. Save time. Let's say I don't like this part, and I don't like seamless. Sounds very AI. So to link your, let's keep it short and sweet. So let's do it like this. All I have to do here is also upload an image, because I do want to upload it with an image. Then I click approve, and it will post it to X. So we can see if it posted it. Go to my profile, and you can see it posted it on X. So we can go back to our agent, and now it's going to the LinkedIn post writer agent. So right now our LinkedIn post writer agent is also using the YouTube transcription tool to first transcribe, then write the LinkedIn post. Now we have our LinkedIn post here. So again, same setup, right? We can change whatever we want. Now I'm actually not going to post on LinkedIn right now, but you can see same setup. I can add an image here for my LinkedIn, and that's it. Actually, the LinkedIn one is not connected, so I can't just click approve because it will not be posted automatically. So let's click approve. You can see, by the way, also I've instructed my agent to tag whatever it has done, right? You can see blog posted, posted on X, posted on LinkedIn, so you know where he is in the process. And lastly, we have our email writer agent, right, who's now writing an email promoting my new video to my subscribers. So here we have the email. We can do the same thing, right? We can iterate. We can say we don't like this, we don't like that. Now in this case, I send my emails through Gumroad. Now Gumroad doesn't have an API to actually send emails automatically, so this is a manual step for me. But I'm fine because it doesn't take that long. All I do is, if I like it, I copy and paste it into Gumroad and send my email to my subscribers. Now that's it. This is how the agent works. So now I'll go over the agent setup, and then later I'll show you how the tools are set up and the trigger. So let's start with the manager agent. So the manager agent, we have given a system prompt as always. And in this system prompt, of course, besides describing the tools like we do in a normal agent, we also have to describe to this manager agent which sub-agents it has access to. So you can see, I'll go over it very quickly. You can read this in detail in my template, right, which you can clone for free in your own Relevance AI. But I'll go over the quick step by step. So act as a YouTube video repurposing and promotion agent manager. You're my YouTube video repurposing and promotion agent manager. You'll be triggered when a new YouTube video is released on my channel, and your job is to repurpose this video and promote it across my online presence. Right now, this SOP, most important, right? You'll be triggered when I send you a new YouTube video link I just posted. Of course, sometimes that's automatically too. And then the SOP here is important, right? You start by writing a blog post for my personal blog using the blog writer agent. All right, so basically you can just instruct it the same way as you do with tools, right? You just use agents instead of tools. Now, this is the important step if you actually want to be able to iterate, right? And be in the loop and sort of be able to give feedback on that initial writing of your sub-agents. So you have to tell your manager agent, report the written blog article back to me to be able to verify if the blog post is ready to be posted, right? Only in that case, you will output it in a format for you so you can read it, give your feedback so you can send it back, right? Then my third step, when I've approved the blog, post blog article on my Webflow website using the post to Webflow tool, right? Now, you understand the system, right? Write an X-post using the X-post writer. This is basically the SOP, right? And here I still have another breakdown, another section of tools and sub-agents where I give it a more detailed breakdown of what these sub-agents do and these tools do, and some extra notes. If you want to read it in detail, again, you can see it in my template. So then we have the flow builder. Always important to double down on that SOP, especially if you get in more complex builds. Does really help in my experience. So basically it's just the SOP, what I just said, but then in this flow builder. That's it. And then we have our tools. Now, in this case, this manager agent has three tools, right? Post to LinkedIn, post to X, and post to Webflow, which is my blog. So in this case, I've done all of them approval required. Why? Because first of all, I want to double check, and I also want to be able to upload those images myself before posting, because I want to post these things with images, not without. So all of them are on approval required. And then here we have our section with sub-agents. And here you can see we have our 4 sub-agents. Now, these settings are important, right? In this case, I've used them all on auto run, but you can also do the same thing. We have approval required. But in this case, I've auto run. And in here we have settings, right? So first setting is prompt for how to use. Describe how your agents should use this sub-agent. This is just letting your manager agent know what this sub-agent manager does. So in this case, send a YouTube video link to this agent. He will craft a high quality blog article ready to be posted on Webflow, right? And then we have template for communication. Now this one is important because basically we can use variables that our manager agent will use when he communicates with our sub-agent. So we can literally put in those variables we normally use like in a tool. So our manager agent knows what to fill in there. So in this case, here's the YouTube video link. And then I put in the variable here, YouTube video link. Please write me a high quality article based on the video. Here are some additional comments, feedback, right? So this is the part, this one part I included so I can actually give feedback to that blog writer agent. So as soon as you do this, a variable, you can see that below here, automatically you get this text field where you can basically describe what this variable is also to this agent. So in this case, I had two variables here, the YouTube video link, which is pretty obvious. I describe what it is that our manager agent has to send to the sub agent, in this case the link of the YouTube video, and here in the feedback variable I describe if I have given any feedback, please add them here. So this is sort of the template that your manager agent uses to communicate with the sub agents. So this one is very important. So I have that set up for all of them basically. Then I have, in this case this is interesting actually, because in the post writer agent I have not equipped that agent with the YouTube transcription tool. Why? Because these X posts are so small and simple that he doesn't need the entire YouTube video transcript. And because our YouTube repurposing manager already has access to the blog article from the blog writer earlier, he can already give a small little summary on what this video is about to the X post writer agent. So you can see in this case my template for communication is different. I say please write an X post for this video. I give the video title, which he already has from the blog writer. I instructed to give a 200-word summary of the video summary, and you can see here that variable I said a 200-word summary of the video. You can take this from the blog post, right? Because our manager already has access to that text. Main outcomes, because I do want to communicate that in my X post, and the YouTube link, of course, we need. So that's that for that. And then we have the LinkedIn post writer agent and the email writer agents, which are similarly set up as the blog writer agent. All right, you can see. Now let's go over the sub agents quickly. So here we have our blog writer agent. So in this case, we can go to settings. And in this case, it's a lot more like a normal prompt, right? Because we want to be really focus this prompt of this blog writer agent on writing good blog posts, right? Of course, he does have one tool, right, which is the YouTube video transcription tool. So we do have to give it a short SOP and put it in the flow builder, but it's a very simple flow. You can see, use YouTube transcription to transcribe the YouTube video, write a high quality blog article, and then report finished article back to your manager agent, right? That's all his SOP is about, and his core instructions or his system prompt is mostly about how to write a good blog post for my website, right? So that's what this focused on. I give it lots of examples of good writing styles and past blog posts, but again, you can read this in detail if you're interested in the template. So all I do here really is instruct it to write a good blog post. That's it. And we have our tool. Now, important here, these tools have to always be on auto run, because if you have an approval step inside of a sub agent, you'll never get a response back to your manager agent, which is possible if you start managing different dashboards for your sub agents too. But in general, clients, but also me, just want to manage one agent to do a specific workflow or process. So in that case, your sub agents always need to have their tools on auto run. So that's the blog writer agent. Now, the other sub agents are a very similar setup, same setup actually. The only difference is that the post writer agent doesn't have access to the YouTube transcription tool, but he will get a summary from his manager. Now the LinkedIn post writer tool agent, of course, has a different prompt where it's optimized on writing good LinkedIn posts, and the email writer is optimized for writing good emails. Now I'll go over the 3 tools that can actually post on my blog on LinkedIn and X, but you can do a similar process for any other social media channel you'd like to use. This is exactly the topic of my last video, where I show how you can connect your AI agents to almost any software without really complicated API or authorization setups. And it's a really easy setup. I'll go over it quickly here right now too. So what we do basically is we have 2 user inputs here. Of course, we have the content of the LinkedIn post, which our content manager fills out. And we also have the image, right? Because we don't want to do an image post. Now, we don't want to do the actual API of LinkedIn because it's going to be a huge mess and very time consuming. So what we do is we use Make, right? So we send this information to a webhook in Make, and from make.com, they are natively integrated with LinkedIn. We send it to the LinkedIn module to create a post on our channel. So all we have done here is image and content, right? We have in methods, we have post. We pasted in the URL from the webhook of make, which I'll show you in a second. And here we have two params or two variables which we actually send over to make. So you can see here I put in the variables of what this agent will fill out. So in this case, the content and the image. So if we go to make.com, here we have the setup for this specific one. So here we have the webhook, right? So make, if you set up a custom webhook, very easy. You just go here, custom webhook, and then you could just add one. And then what make does is they give you that URL. And with that URL, you can then just paste back in there, in here. That's all it requires, this setup. And then we need two more things, because of course we have an image post, and our image is actually in relevance. I'm going to show you. It's actually saved as a URL, right? So this is going to be saved. The image I uploaded is then converted into a URL, and that's being sent to make, right? So the LinkedIn module actually doesn't accept an URL. They need a file, right? So very simple. In this second step, what we do here is we have an HTTP module where we say get a file, right? So all we do there is we put in that URL variable, right? Image here in this case, and then it will automatically convert that into a file, right? So that's all we have done in that second step. And then in the third step, it's the LinkedIn create a user image post step. First, you connect, of course, your LinkedIn account, and then it will ask here for a file, right? Now, it will automatically select this because it recognized that we have a get a file step before LinkedIn, so it's already selected. And then we can add here the content. So this would be the variable of the LinkedIn post, right? So that's all it is. And then, of course, we have some advanced things here, but the LinkedIn module, very easy. The X module is a little bit more complicated, but this is all it requires. So once you've set it up, all you do is you turn it on, and then as soon as your webhook is being called by your agent, it will send it and create a post on LinkedIn. So let me go over now the Webflow one. So here we are in the Webflow one. Very similar setup to the LinkedIn one, but this one is a bit more complicated because our blog articles require a lot more fields, right? So Webflow asks for a lot more fields, of course, to create a blog post, right? Because we need the title, we need an excerpt, we need a summary, we need a featured image, we need a date, we need a YouTube link, blog post, thumbnail image, and in this case, I also include my free resource or free template link, which that's again why I do a human approval, because then I can upload these images and these links. Right now, same process. Agent fills all of this information in, and then actually I have one more step here, which is convert the blog post into HTML format and make sure every tag is loaded. So Webflow accepts HTML, so I actually want my blog to be, optimized in terms of formatting, right? So these headers, etc., bold, etc. So that's what this LLM step does. So it outputs it in HTML. Then it sends that in this variable HTML blog post. And then I have all of these that I sent to my make.com automation. So you can see here, we have the Webflow, publish blog to Webflow, right? Same setup. We have our custom webhook here. We send all that data there. Then we have create an item in Webflow, right? And there we can select our site. We can collect which collection ID, right? In this case, it's blog posts. And then we automatically get the fields here that we need to fill out, right? And all we do then is add in the variables we get from make, from the webhook in each step: title, body, summary, excerpt, image, etc. And that's it. And then you actually have to, on Webflow, publish an item too, because otherwise it will stay in draft. So in this case, I've published item. So all I do is get this item ID from this step, right? So this will generate an item ID, which I then, that variable I use in this one to publish an item. And then in the last step, I actually have to publish the site to make it live, to make the new changes live. So I just publish the site again, and that's it. That's how it works. Now for the post to X, it's a little bit more complicated on the make side, but I'll show you how you do it. So on the Relevance AI side, I think you understand now, it's the same setup, right? We have on the X one, we have our X post, our X content, text content, and our image. And of course, we send that again to a different webhook in make.com, which we have here. And from there, we have the same setup because we do an image post where we convert the URL to a file. And then we actually have two different modules of X here, because in the first one, we actually have to upload our media. That's how it works in X. We first have to upload our media, and then we can use that uploaded media in our create a post module, right? That's just the setup. And in X, actually, the uploaded media module is still from the old API version. So this one is the V5 version, and this one is the V6 version, and they both require a little bit of a different setup. So let me start with the create a post, which is the V6 version. I'll show you quickly. So if you're here on the X, you have to click here, the V6, and there you'll have create a post, right? That's the one I have set up here. So that's a V6. Now, how do we set that up? If we set up a new one, what we have to do is we need credentials, right? From X, right? And we actually have to set up a developer account. So what they'll ask for is a client ID and a client secret, right? Now, how do we do that? We go to developer.x.com. There you can log in with your existing X account, and then you'll arrive onto this dashboard. They'll actually create a project for you automatically. So you go here in projects and apps, you click on this one, and then you go to edit here, and here you click. These are your user authentication setups, and you're making an application, right? So you click here, read and write direct messages. In this option, you go web app, and then you need to exactly use these two callback URLs, right? So exactly these two. Then this website URL also, which is the same as this one. And then you will click save. And once you click save, you will come back to this screen where you'll get your client ID and secret ID in a window. Save those, save them somewhere, and you can then paste them back into Make, where I showed them here. And then you'll have your connection set up with the V6 version. Now, there you can put in your text content with the variable from the webhook, right, which is the text, but then you still need to add your media ID. So for the uploaded media module, we need to use the V5 module, and that requires a different setup, a different authorization. So you click here on upload media, and then you go here on add, and then here in advanced settings, you see they'll ask for the API key and API key secret. So those are two different codes that you need instead of the V6, which asks for the client ID. So you go back to the X developer, and there you can go in keys and tokens, and here you'll have your consumer keys. So if you don't know them yet, you could just click on here, regenerate, and you'll get your API key and your secret key. You then paste them in here, you save, and that's it. And then all you do is, let me delete this one. You get out of this uploaded media, you get, of course, a variable which you then use in your next V6 module, which is create a post. You can see here media ID, which you can select from the previous one. That's it for the X post. Now, lastly, let me show you how I trigger my agent from YouTube, where it watches my YouTube channel, and as soon as a new YouTube video is posted, it will send it to my agent and start a new task / conversation for my agent. So let me show you here. So they have two. So this is basically with a YouTube module, right? Very easy, already natively integrated with Make, right? So you can see here, watch videos in a channel, right? You do need to have the permission, so it needs to be your own channel. I think, I haven't tried it with others actually, but here's my connected channel ID. You fill in your channel ID, and that's it. That's it, and you get, of course, your variables, which you can then use to trigger our agent. Now, to trigger a Relevance AI agent, unfortunately, Relevance AI is not natively integrated with Make.com just yet, so we do have to set up an HTTP request. If you don't know how to do that yet with Relevance AI, I have an exact explanation, detailed explanation in my full beginner's tutorial on Relevance AI on my YouTube channel, and also it's in my last video. So if you want to know how you can actually trigger your agent through this HTTP module, please watch that video, and I have a detailed breakdown of how to do that. Now that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. This is just one example of a content agent and one content repurposing agent, but of course you can imagine you can adjust this to many different use cases, right? For example, you want to you want to repurpose blog posts. So you watch a blog post, as soon as a new one comes in, you send it to your agent, and then instead of the YouTube transcription tools, you can use a web scraper, for example. There's many possibilities with this setup, and as I said, I think the AI agents for these content generation use cases are very strong. I've delivered a few to clients already, and they seem to be very happy with them. So very good use case. Again, thank you guys for all the positive messages, and please let me know if you are interested in a community. I would love it, but I need to see if there are enough people with interest. And lastly, if you're a business and you want me and my team to implement AI agents and AI automations for you, I am available. Just click the link in the description below. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you